Welcome to episode number 325 of the Marine Layer podcast. It's a mailbag episode, so we'll open it up and answer your guys' best listener questions. We'll also react to Cal Raleigh finishing second in the American League MVP voting.
Reminder to you guys, if you want to stay on top of all of our stuff, there's a pretty easy way to do it. You can just go right over to our website. That's marinelayerpod.com, where you can find all of our episodes. If you're listening to these episodes, by the way, just do us a big favor. Go rate and review 5 stars and download these episodes. It really does help out if you do. And if you're on YouTube, where you can also find our episodes on our website, if you're watching the show, just go hit subscribe, leave a like on the video, drop a comment. Again, hitting subscribe is the best way you can support the channel. You can find us, again, on our website. You can find our merch, our Patreon. Again, that's all over at marinelayerpod.com. We love seeing people wear the merch. And then you can check us out all across social media at marinelayerpod.
Let's get it rolling.
The pitch from Acevedo. A drive deep to right field. Down the line. The Mariners win this game 2-1. The dream lives. They're going to the playoffs. 1-1 from Jansen. There you go. Left field. We got a tie ball game. Julio. Oh, baby, what a moment. Tie ball game at 7-7.
And we welcome you to this episode of the Marine Layer podcast, part of the Just Baseball Podcast Network. Recording here on Thursday evening, November 13th. Cal Raleigh loses the MVP, the American League MVP, to Aaron Judge in a very close race here this afternoon. But before that, I just need to give flowers to Lyle Goldstein because you managed to pull off the spin zone of the year. You really did. I need to give you a round of applause. What? On a day where Mariners fans should be downtrodden and Yankees fans should be up and they should be happy, you pissed them off.
And to say it was premeditated would be absolutely right. Because as we started to roll into Thursday morning and you're seeing the Vegas odds of what the MVP level could be, and you're starting to get the sense that, yeah, this is probably going to be Judge. As tough as it is to admit, we're starting to kind of feel it. We're starting to kind of see it's probably going to be Judge that wins. And honestly, we could feel it for a couple weeks. So you know what I said? You know what? If Cal's not going to win, and he should have, but if Cal's not going to win, let's go out on a high note. Let's go out swinging with one final strike. And that's what we did. And how do we do that, TJ? Maybe some people want to know how we did that. The lowest possible hanging fruit for Yankee fans, which I've learned over the last 4 or 5 years, there is no subject that triggers them more than this. To make fun of Derek Jeter's atrocious defense. So that's what I did. I started it out all nice. If you go on our social media reaction video saying, look, Aaron Judge had a hell of a year. He had a historic season. Do you guys know Derek Jeter's the worst defender in the history of baseball? And then I start going on again, saying give Cal credit, but also you can't ignore Judge. I mean, could you imagine if Derek Jeter had actually given a spot at shortstop to a real defensive shortstop in A-Rod and moved to third base? But oh no, he couldn't tarnish his legacy. He said to himself, I have to keep playing atrocious defense every day of my life and make everybody miserable around me. So I ain't moving. That's why I'm a captain.
Great job. And it worked. It worked. So you have, on what should be a happy day for the Yankees fan base, you have them riled up.
Good.
And pissed off. So good job. Great. You did a really good job.
You know what? I think Mariners fans needed it. I think people were and are fairly upset that Cal didn't win it.
It was funny. It made people laugh. I think that was the most important part.
I mean, we were getting some replies being like, man, this is some of your best work. Go watch the video if you haven't seen it. But
at Marine Layer Pod, wherever you are on social media.
Yeah. I mean, again, people needed a laugh. And we needed a reason to give him a laugh, which is, by the way, a laugh with objective facts. Derek Jeter is objectively a horrid defender for his career.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How did Vegas get this so dialed in when the voting was so close? Like, the voting came out for this MVP award. Cal and Aaron Judge got all the first place votes and second place votes. Judge got 17 first place votes. Cal got 13. And yet the Vegas odds were minus 300? Is that right? You guys were talking about it this morning.
I mean, they were a little tilted, that's for sure.
Like, it was a heavy favorite for Aaron Judge. And he won by a swing of 2 votes, pretty much.
It's crazy. I mean, in general, I always wonder this with Vegas. how they're always so spot on with this stuff, especially something like MVP odds, because, I mean, are you talking to the 30 voters, the 30 writers that send in a vote? I doubt it. I don't know how they always do this so well.
Lots of practice. And the thing about MVP voting is it's very inconsistent historically. Like, there have been amazing seasons. Think of A-Rod's 96 season when Juan Gonzalez won it. Like, A-Rod was a better baseball player. If, like, people evaluated baseball, by the way they evaluate it today, A-Rod would have won that MVP award, but they don't, because that's not how they evaluated it back then. So,
I mean, I hate to say it, but to your point, if it was evaluated the way it's evaluated now, Ichiro probably doesn't have an MVP. That's Jason Giambi.
Brett Boone was arguably better on the Mariners.
Yeah. Although, if you look at those three, again, Booney, friend of the pod, we love Brett Boone, but that was probably Giambi's award if you're voting today.
So, we give and take here on the pod.
Yeah, not to say that Ichiro wouldn't have still been a first ballot Hall of Famer if he doesn't have that MVP. Of course he would have. It's just, voting's different now. Genuinely, that is the reason, all jokes aside, that is why Derek Jeter was winning Gold Gloves back then. If Derek Jeter was putting up that shitty defense in today's game, he's not sniffing a Gold Glove. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if in today's game he gets moved to second base in his career. The reason he stuck it short all that time.
Well, some team, if the Yankees had paid him a lot of money, no, they probably wouldn't have moved him, because even Bo Bichette is an awful defender at shortstop. The Jays didn't move him.
But now they're going to, if they bring him back, he's going to play second.
Because he's a free agent. But I'm just sorry. This is a distracting.
I'm just saying there were years where he put up negative 26 defensive.
I'm not saying the process is wrong. I'm just saying sometimes teams just ignore it.
Yeah. I mean, Brian Cashman does like to brag about how little they use analytics, so that's true. Yeah, so anyway, MVP voting was different back then. There's no doubt.
I think that an argument for some people currently is Judge's 2022 MVP, where I think a lot of people in 2022 thought that Shohei was going to win the MVP that year, but because Judge had a historic record-breaking 62 home run season, that is why they gave it to him, because the story was so great. And for Cal this year, the story was so great, even though Judge was better, that they would give it to Cal instead. Some people think they switch it up. Judge had a 12-win season on Fangraphs in 22, right? Do I have that right? It was like 12.
He lit the world on fire, yeah.
So I can't draw that comparison, but that is what some people were saying, and I was curious if you thought anything of that. I'm not sitting here today overly salty that Cal lost. I thought he was the MVP. I thought he was the most valuable player in baseball this season. But I'm not heartbroken that Aaron Judge won, because Aaron Judge had a 200 WRC plus. You know how many great hitters in history have never put up a 200 WRC plus?
Yeah.
A lot.
We're in the same boat. I think Cal should have won the MVP, but I can't sit here mad that Aaron Judge won it. What we're watching, in all seriousness, is right in front of our eyes one of the best hitters to ever play the game of baseball. And by the time he retires, maybe he won't pass Bonds, but we're going to be having some real conversations about Mount Rushmore of greatest hitters of all time. And by the time Judge's career is over, he very well may be on it.
It'd be him and Pujols for right-handed hitters for the most part.
And I think he honestly may surpass Pujols. Even if he doesn't have the home runs that Pujols had, he may just surpass him as an overall hitter.
The peak is higher against better pitchers.
Right. Exactly.
But that's not to take anything away from what Cal done. It is unfortunate for him because this is going to be his best shot at MVP. Because he's not going to hit 60 again. That's not going to happen.
Until he proves us all wrong and does.
He could, but we talked about the list of players to hit 60. The player to hit 60 multiple times is shorter. Barry Bonds himself never hit 60 home runs twice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so Cal might hit 50 again. If he has a 50 home run season at some point in his career, that could win him an MVP, especially if it gets to a point in time where Judge starts to tail off in his career.
Judge or Bobby Witt would have to have down years, I think. Because Judge is going to... because Cal is going to have the disadvantage of not playing as many games because he's a catcher. And as he gets older, it's not just that Cal's going to have DH days, he's going to have more off days because the Mariners just couldn't justify playing him that much.
Right.
Because then he's just going to get hurt and could turn into Joe Mauer. And you don't want that to happen.
No.
Bobby Witt is as big of a problem, I think, to Cal's future MVP case as Aaron Judge is. Bobby Witt, as we've talked about, put up an 8-win season this year and wasn't even remotely in the discussion for MVP.
And last year he put up a 10-WAR season and lost.
And again, it wasn't even close, really.
Just another thing to absolutely marvel at about Aaron Judge, in all seriousness. The 3 MVPs he's won, he beat out a historic season from Shohei, a historic 10-win season from Bobby Witt, and a 60-home run season from Cal Raleigh. I think Judge is already approaching near Pujols territory for greatest right-handed hitter ever. To do that and to beat out those 3 juggernauts to win your 3 MVPs is nuts.
If you're a Mariner fan looking to cling on to something for this story and Cal finishing second and you're bummed and you don't want to think about it, here's something that I think will make you feel better. The 2025 season is not going to be remembered because of Aaron Judge. The 2025 season more so is going to be remembered because of Cal Raleigh. I really think so. The storyline, when people open up their history book or they go into the Hall of Fame and they look at what the 2025 season was to Major League Baseball, they're going to be talking about Cal Raleigh. They're going to be talking about a switch-hitting catcher hitting 60 home runs and a team nearly going to the World Series. And him coming up with big moment after big moment after big moment where he was able to break the record of Mickey Mantle, of Ken Griffey Jr., Salvador Perez, on and on and on and on. Like, Judge had already broken all of his records, so he just doesn't get that same shower of attention when he hits all of his home runs. And by the way, he was also hurt, so he was out of the news cycle for a chunk of the season. Cal Raleigh wasn't. He was constantly in front of people. He won the Derby. He was in the All-Star game. He's playing on national television late in the season on a Sunday night baseball game in which the Mariners needed to go win the division with 2 really good teams, and he came on and he showed out. Like, there are so many things that work out for Cal Raleigh this year that people are, across the country, going to remember the season for Cal and not for Aaron Judge. I think that is what everyone needs to rest on right now.
People will remember Aaron Judge a lot more for 2022, and people will remember Cal Raleigh a lot more for 2025. If you want to add to Cal's accolades this year, even on top of everything you just said, went further into the playoffs than Judge did. He was much more in front of the camera than Judge was this year between his multiple appearances on McAfee, and he went on Pardon My Take, and he was interviewed by Mina Kimes, and he did all these different things. I'll tell you what, Aaron Judge did not get asked in an interview this year if he's ever ripped ass on an umpire the way the Pardon My Take guys asked Cal. So, yeah. I mean, this was Cal Raleigh's year. He didn't win the MVP, but people are going to look back 5, 10, however many years from now on 25 and say, yeah, Judge won the MVP, but I remember that season a lot more for Cal.
And that is something that is great, and everyone's going to remember. And none of us, certainly as Mariners fans, are going to forget this. That's for sure. The hardware is great, but Cal Raleigh's resume still looks really, really good.
Yeah.
It does.
By the way, last quick note on the MVPs here. Going over to the National League for a second. We were really on the brink of talking about, I can't even believe I'm going to say this, 5 MVPs in a row for Shohei. Aaron Judge doing what he did in 2022 to break Roger Maris's record is the only thing standing in the way for 5 straight MVPs for Shohei Ohtani.
It's almost like he's a top 5 hitter and top 5 pitcher in one person.
It's almost like he's the greatest player to ever live.
Something, I'm sure when people saw Barry Bonds do what he's doing, they say they'd never see that again. Like, we're not seeing Bonds level production per se, but we are seeing Bonds level greatness. And it is that benefits Shohei as visible as ever. Not only is his team good, but he's on TV everywhere. All over the country, in Japan, Major League Baseball's tweeting out tweets in all caps when he swings and misses. He's all over the place, but it's well deserved. You saw it last year. He couldn't pitch, and he decided to do something that had never been done before. It's insane. Which the Mariners offered him a contract.
Well, I was going to say, surely they they were in the bidding war, right? I mean, they were in on that, right?
No.
Oh, they weren't?
No.
They said signing Shohei Ohtani wasn't a smart strategy? That can't be right.
No. And allegedly the Dodgers have already made all that money back on the contract in 1 year.
Yeah, the Mariners balked at the money at Shohei Ohtani. How about that?
5 straight MVPs.
Balked at the money.
Good for Shohei, though.
Yeah.
I love dogs, but way too many dogs on the presentation. What I need to give MLB an F for their awards ceremony. It sucked. It was like they had to call everybody today to remind them they're giving out the award. Scramble something. Make yourself presentable. We'll zoom in.
Meanwhile, then you've got Don Mattingly presenting the award saying, the MVP goes to Shohei Ohtani. It's like,
why can't the MLB Network crew just say it?
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
on TV. They're wearing mics. They have great lining.
I was going to say, you've got Don Mattingly zooming in on his, what looks like an iPhone 5. He's got no energy. It's
the
very
lighting
clearly through a
sucked
phone.
too. You can't see him.
Yeah. MLB did an awful job with it.
F. The least valuable thing of tonight was the Major League Baseball Network's awards presentation. You're telling me they can't do anything better? Also, 2 of them, Soto and Cal, were at the MLB Awards in Vegas. Why can't we get everyone to Vegas?
I don't know. Aaron Judge probably says to himself, better things to do. This is the same man who left the All-Star game early.
But that was more common. We learned after the fact that was more common than the report led on to be.
I guess.
The one thing Aaron Judge did not slip by everybody, he just straight up dressed like The Rock.
Yeah, that was interesting.
He's got the head shape for it too, except he has hair.
I know.
That was my note on.
Some people say these
outfit.
days that I draw some similarities, looks wise, to Aaron Judge. I'm obviously couldn't hold
has
a candle
more
to
hair
Judge
than
a
you,
baseball
though.
player. What were you going to say?
He has more hair than you.
He's got it's curlier, yeah.
More volume up top.
Oh yeah, where I keep my hair pretty short. Yeah, that's right.
I see it though, facial structure wise. Mm-hmm. You've grown past the Christian Yelich. I think you've grown more into Aaron Judge.
All right. I'll take either one.
That's fine. 2 MVPs.
Yeah.
All right, are you about ready for this mailbag?
Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing what the people have to say today.
A reminder to all of you before we jump into this mailbag, the best place to get priority for our mailbag questions, make sure your questions get answered, is over at our Patreon. You get access to Mailbag Priority, where whenever we post about the mailbag every week, we have a mailbag episode every single Friday. You can leave us a question, and it will get answered on the podcast. If you sign up, your question gets answered. So just go over to patreon.com/MarineLayerPod. You'll have access to ad-free episodes, that mailbag priority, and you'll get to chat with Lyle and I on a video call once a month. It's a great bonding opportunity to talk about Mariners baseball. So that's patreon.com/MarineLayerPod. And to start us off, our newest Patreon subscriber, Be Like Buhner. Bit of a long question. Let me just read it out so I can explain sort of the back context to this. Be Like Buhner says, one of my favorite parts of Josh Naylor is his baseball IQ. He talks about what a baseball family his house was. We need a backup catcher. Can the Mariners acquire Stephen Kwan and Bo Naylor from the Guardians this offseason?
So the Mariners do have a backup catcher, but I think if you want Bo Naylor on the roster, you would have to trade your backup catcher to get him in Harry Ford, which is not impossible. Obviously, he's been floated around in trade talks. I mean, it seems like Stephen Kwan's being floated out there this winter, so is it impossible for the Mariners to go trade for the guy? No, not at all. He was almost traded last deadline, it felt like. But if you want Stephen Kwan, there's a couple things you're going to have to figure out. Number one, which prospects are you willing to part with? Because to get Kwan, I would assume with how much club control he has left in the 2 years, you will probably need to part with somebody in your top 10. So one of your prospects that you really like and care about, along with Harry Ford, to probably get Stephen Kwan and Bo Naylor. Maybe there's a lottery ticket floated in there too. But I would say to have that happen, you have to give up a package like that, which the Mariners might be willing to do. Where this gets a little tougher is who would fill out those outfield spots. Obviously, Julio's penciled in at center field without questions. But can Quan play right? I mean, he's much more of a left fielder, and he's good at left field. Does that mean Randy Arozarena's going to right field, where he doesn't really play a lot of? There is some logistical questions there and positioning questions.
Is Bo Naylor better than Harry Ford?
This is less about Bo Naylor for me and more about Stephen Kwan.
Well, the question, I think, was more about the Naylor family and a backup catcher. Like, I think Stephen Kwan's a yes. There are questions that need to be answered when it comes to fitting him in. But if Stephen Kwan's available and the Mariners feel like they need an outfielder, they should trade for him. Like, you and I agree on that.
Yeah.
Would it be worth trading for a pre-arb Bo Naylor, a former top prospect, former first-round pick? Still got a lot of runway left to be good. He's pre-arb right now. Like, would that be worth trying to acquire and potentially overpaying?
How much is he really worth? I don't think he's valued crazy high.
He hasn't hit very much, but he's only 25.
Yeah, but Harry Ford's younger than that. I almost think of it like this, right? I think of it as you are trading Harry Ford as part of the package to get Stephen Kwan, which, by the way, if you're going to trade for him, it probably looks something like this. It's probably Harry Ford, a prospect in the lower end of your top 10, I would assume. It's not going to be Colt Emerson or Johnny Farmelo or anybody like that. Lower end of the top 10, Harry Ford, who's basically still a prospect and was obviously a top 100 guy forever. And then you've probably got to trade Cleveland one of your right fielders, whether that's Raleigh, whether it's Canzone. I would guess it's probably, well, I don't know who they value more. You would have to trade him one of those guys, likely. And that's how you get back Kwan. But that's the Mariners saying, hey, if we're going to give you Harry Ford, we need another catcher. Give us Bo Naylor. We're giving you Harry Ford.
Okay. I'm pretty sure Bo Naylor's their only catcher right now. I don't think Austin Hedges didn't go back there.
But again, you're giving him Harry Ford.
I know. But Bo Naylor is current. This would require the Guardians buying in on Harry Ford being an everyday catcher in the big leagues right now. Yeah. Or they'd have to go sign somebody.
They do have Hedges, by the way.
I thought he was a free agent.
He might be a free agent now, but he was with the
Guardians. I know he was on the team last year.
But he's one of those guys where he's at the point of his career where, oh, well, actually, he had a tough year.
Hedges, yeah, he can't hit.
Yeah.
And Bo Naylor can't really hit either. He had an 85 WRC plus this year.
So does Cleveland want to take a catcher with some offensive upside in Harry Ford?
If they think he's ready to play every day.
I don't.
They know. I'm pretty sure they know that Bo Naylor is available every day. I don't hate the idea of thinking about other catcher options. I don't think this really raises your ceiling that much. Harry Ford versus Bo Naylor. One has more experience, but he's also more expensive than just putting Harry Ford on your roster.
This would be more about Stephen Kwan if you're making this trade. Much more.
100%. Yeah, I think the question's more about Bo Naylor.
Yeah.
Stephen Kwan, yes.
I mean, I'll say this to answer his question as we wrap this up. If you were to get that trade done in the next week or two, doesn't that become an ultimate sales pitch to Josh Naylor being like, hey,
mind
you want
games.
to sign here?
Mind games.
Total mind games.
Next question comes from Graham on Patreon, and Graham's question is, if the Mariners sign Polanco, he's likely to be DH rather than second base. Should the Mariners be looking at Willie Castro or someone else, or should we be feeling comfortable with Cole Young, Bliss, or even Arroyo at second base?
I think Cole Young's going to be the Mariners' second baseman long term. Obviously, they're going to want to see him go out and earn it in spring training. But I would be pretty surprised if they sign anybody not named Jorge Polanco who would block Cole Young from getting real second base reps in spring training or during the season. Now, you could still sign Willie Castro. He could play some other places. Maybe you like him better as an idea of a third base placeholder until Colt Emerson's ready. So I would almost say yes to both questions. I do think Cole Young's going to be the long-term second baseman, but there is a world where you could go sign Willie Castro and make it work.
I'm with you. Investing dollars into second base feels like a sunk cost. Polanco, if you re-sign him, is going to be your essentially supplemental second baseman / full-time DH. He will fill in around the edges when you need to at second. Otherwise, he's going to focus on hitting. The Willie Castro price that's been floated out on the internet is about $9 million. Does $9 million feel worth it if you were to stick him at second base? I don't think so.
Actually, $9 million does not feel worth it to me at all. He did not have a good year.
Exactly. And that's a different conversation at third base, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
No, I would not sign anyone at second base. I don't believe that's a smart strategy to try and spend money at second base. Polanco will allow your young guys some cushion if stuff goes wrong or they just need somebody who's they know is going to be a 2-WAR player at second base. With Jorge Polanco's offense, they will put him there. Otherwise, let Cole Young get some at-bats and become a quality major leaguer. Is my answer to that question.
Yeah, I just don't think Willie Castro totally fits. It's a good question, Graham. And as always, you always send good questions. But didn't have a good defensive year. Didn't have a good year at the plate. He's starting to age. If he's trying to ask for $8-9 million, it just feels like the Mariners should probably be allocating that elsewhere. For example, $9 million, that feels like money you should just be putting back into Josh Naylor.
Fair point. Next question here. Hang with me here. This one is a bit of a long one, bit more of a thought exercise. This one comes from Pucci Delgado. It is a hypothetical MLB expansion draft and who the Mariners would protect versus not protect. So you get to protect 15 players on your 40-man roster. Pucci lists out 14 players that they would keep. Cal, Julio, Brian Wu, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Matt Brash, Andres Munoz, Harry Ford, Cole Young, Ben Williamson. That's 11. Then to get to 14, Randy Arozarena, Luis Castillo, and J.P. Crawford. Who's the final person you would add?
Is there anything about the guys he listed off that we would change?
I wouldn't keep Ben.
That's probably the one I might swap out. The others, yes.
It's not a slam dunk, though, with the replacements. I listed out 3 that I thought of the top of my head that I would consider swapping in or adding for that last spot. Gabe Spire needs to be on here. High leverage lefty bullpen arm, as volatile and replaceable as bullpen arms are, I feel like Gabe Spire has done enough to earn himself as one of these 15 spots. So he would be my add. If I were to swap someone with Ben Williamson, the other 2 choices are Edward Bizzardo or Dom Canzone.
I'm going a different route.
Oh.
Because I would swap out Ben, keep Gabe Spire. I'm keeping Logan Evans, obviously.
Logan was probably next off my list. Yeah.
Well, he's our guy.
But
I'm keeping him.
I know, but you're keeping 5 starters. So.
Well, you need starter depth.
Great. Okay.
Can't have too much pitching.
There was no one else on the 40-man that really stood out, I guess.
Yeah.
Samad Taylor, no.
Well,
Luke Raley, if he had been healthy all year, would have made this a little tougher.
Yeah, and technically with Logan Evans, if you pull up the Mariners 40-man roster this second, he's not on it because they never officially took him off the IL.
That would be why I didn't put him on here.
Well, he's on my list.
Well, then I guess I technically answered the question correctly. The Mariners' current 40-man roster. They have to activate him at some point, though. You can't suspend all offseason on the IL.
I'm sure whenever that day comes, he'll be back on it. I don't remember what the exact date is that you have to put everybody back, but I'm sure he's going to be on it. I mean, obviously he will.
Would you consider keeping Dom Canzone?
He's got club control, but I still got to see a little bit more. What happened in October, and obviously like what's been a couple really good months, is probably a little bit of a small sample. I guess it depends on if you'd say yes or no, do you keep Victor Robles in the stretch that he was in last year? And even if your answer to that's yes, he brings more to the table than Dom does because Vic can run, he can play a little bit of defense. With Dom, it's either he's hitting right-handed pitching or you can't do much with him.
Fair, but he's more expensive, he's older, and he has 1 year of control.
Robles?
Yeah.
I'm just using that as an example.
I know.
Like, would you have kept Robles a year ago had this question been presented? That's the question.
Vic's down year at the plate, though, makes him less attractive to other teams, and the 1 year of control, and more likely.
I'm not talking about right now. I'm not talking about right now.
I know. I'm thinking of the expansion draft.
I'm just saying, compare keeping Dom in 25 to if you would answer this question yes on Robles in 24. And a lot of people would, because he put up 3 wins in basically 80 games.
Okay. It's a good thought experiment. Something that I'm not sure if we'll ever have to deal with, but if we do, then we will be playing this hypothetical again. That's for sure. Thank you for the question. Next one comes from Xander on Patreon. Speaking of Logan Evans, Xander's question is, if this team is ready to move on from Luis and can't get in the Scooble sweepstakes, is Logan Evans ready to take the 5th starter role? Friend of the pod, I know, so may be tough to answer without bias. Lyle?
Let me just answer. Yes. Yes, he is.
He is ready. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mariners put him in the rotation and moved Emerson Hancock to the bullpen for him so he could start.
Yeah.
So that would be his spot in that 5th role. He is not going to get unlimited cushion, though, because the Mariners have guys coming up behind him. And if they trade Luis, think about this as well. If they're clearing $24 million off the books, they could also sign a starter. So the bar would be, would be good. It would be up there for Logan. But if they did not sign a starter, it would be his role, and I'd be confident he could fill it.
Yeah. If you clear $24 million, that also potentially puts you into Scooble range.
But the hypothetical is they can't get Scooble done.
Right. Yeah, again, not only is this our guy, but this is a guy that had plenty of excitement when he was coming up through the minors. He's got 6 or 7 pitches, and again, he kitchen sinks people, and he gets the ball on the ground a lot of the time. Yeah, yes. I think year 2 of Logan Evans is going to be really exciting and be really fun. By the way, we're getting right now, Driveline Logan Evans, if you need any more reason for excitement. They posted that today on Driveline's account. He's there.
Oh, I didn't actually see it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, he's there working out. So give us all a Driveline Logan Evans in 2026.
He's going to be sitting 98 miles an hour, and he's going to have a sweeper that breaks like 34 inches.
Yeah. I mean, if you want an answer on like where do you look for Logan Evans to make a jump into year 2, I think the big thing for him would be just finding a little bit more effectiveness on one of his fastballs, I would say. But his cutter was really good this year. His cutter was a super effective pitch, and he has offerings, and he can throw hard.
He needs to improve his quality of contact, though, and some swing and miss.
Sure, and that probably comes with that improvement of the fastball.
It all correlates.
And if we were to ask Logan, I'm guessing he'd say something along a similar line.
Right.
But yes, he's ready. And we will be rooting our asses off for him, as always.
Next question, also on Patreon. This one comes from Alex. Alex's question is, what is an off-season trade that the Mariners could make this year that could potentially match or beat the 2020 Austin Nola trade?
You trade back for Abe Toro and then flip him to Detroit for Tarek Skubal.
How about someone currently on the Mariners roster?
The problem with that question, and it's a good question, but I shouldn't say problem, but what makes it hard is back in 2020, we didn't know much about any of the 4 guys they were getting. Honestly, the guy we knew the most about was Taylor Trammell because he'd been a top 100 prospect for so long. I think that's who people were most excited about when that trade came back was Tram. So how would the Mariners duplicate that again? It would basically,
I'll tell you who they should trade.
Well, I'll tell you who the Austin Nola essentially would be. It's probably Canzone.
Exactly. Yes.
Because Nola was 30, Canzone's now 28, and it's the idea of had a really good stretch of games and you capitalize on his value. Because that's what the Mariners did with Nola. In fact, I still remember this 5 years ago. TJ's exact words, long before we ever started the podcast when this happened, is Austin Nola is fool's gold. You do this trade 1 million out of 1 million times. And, well, he was right.
Out of it, they got an all-star reliever, an all-star first baseman, someone who's now a quality backup that Mets fans really like in Luis Torrens, and you got a top 100 prospect.
Yeah, so this would be like trading Canzone somewhere.
I can't even put a package together. It's such a unique package. Like, seriously, you had it. Ty France wasn't a career minor leaguer, but he was like stuck because the Padres did not have room for him on their roster. The Mariners gave him room. Taylor was a sort of a project because he was really raw as a prospect. You had Torrens, who was mostly just a throw-in, and Munoz was a lottery ticket. Like a lottery ticket who had undergone Tommy John and was recovering. Like, how do you match that?
I'm almost going back to Cleveland for a second. One, because we were talking about him a bit ago. Two, because that's where Dom's from. And three, because they have bullpen arms. Could you muster something up like...
Oh, I have a great hypothetical.
Is it Ralphie Velasquez?
No. Here's how it happens. If we're going to match up with like the Munoz timeline. Hear me out. The Mariners send Dom Kenzone to the Guardians. They acquire Emmanuel Clase.
Oh, God.
That in 2026 gets cleared of all charges and returns to the Mariners roster, and then among other prospects.
That would be insanity. You know what, buddy?
It's making up Tommy John, essentially. Except one guy's in prison, and the other guy just got hurt.
Or he gets cleared before opening day of 2026, and then he's just on the roster.
I'm just saying.
All right, if I was going to do something other than that and try to actually package a trade together, sure, I'll just stick with Cleveland here. What if it's... So you got to pick one of their relievers. This guy's obviously much more proven than Munoz, but what if you got Hunter Gaddis? And what if you got... Again, when you look at the Guardians' top 100 prospects, at least on MLB Pipeline, Ralphie Velasquez is ranked 9th, but he was a first-round pick and obviously has crazy power and just had a really good year. And I'm guessing he's going to move up in their system when the system gets updated here. But, yeah, what about something like that?
Where's our journeyman first baseman?
Well, Ralphie plays first base.
Oh, good. Sure. Perfect.
I mean,
if you want to do that, I will say yes.
I mean, if you want to throw in some backup catcher, sure. If you want to, like, if they
Naylor.
Yeah, but sure. Yes, there's your trade. It's a very good question. It's just that is a really hard thing to try and put together.
It's a unicorn of a trade, really, because the season itself was a unicorn, and then the return package based off of who the Mariners traded is. I mean, again, people, if you missed Wednesday's episode, Austin Nola is now the Mariners' bullpen coach for Andres Munoz.
Yes. Which, by the way, we did get some more news today because Tony Arnerich got hired away by the Guardians to now be the bench coach, which is a promotion for him. So congratulations to him. But that makes sense why that news now came out about Nola, because they needed a replacement. They've got a replacement.
Before we get to our next question here on the Mailbag, Lyle, do you want to read an ad?
Yeah. How about our friends over at Pagacci's Pub 85? You guys hear us talk about them. They're an awesome, awesome spot. It's over in Kirkland, friendly neighborhood bar. There's 20 TVs in the place, so if you want to watch Seahawks or you want to watch college football or hockey, basketball, Kraken games, you can go right over there. It's right over in Kirkland. Again, it's super fun to go hang out. There's awesome food, and if you go during happy hour, drinks are $3 and $4, you guys. $3 and $4 from 2 to 6 p.m. on Monday and Friday. Great deals. $3 and $4 happy hour drinks. Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. That's all over at Pagacci's Pub 85 in Kirkland.
Next question comes on YouTube from Boomstick Gaming, and the question is, of the big names in trade rumors, Tarek Skubal, Ketel Marte, Byron Buxton, and what order should the M's prioritize potentially going after them?
This is going to sound crazy to some, logical to others, because I'm sitting here prioritizing just best players available over need. It's kind of like doing an NFL draft. This is me saying best talent versus biggest need. I'm putting Tarek Skubal at 1 because Ketel Marte might be the best second baseman in baseball. Byron Buxton might be one of the best hitters in baseball when he's healthy and at his best. But Tarek Skubal's the best pitcher in the world who's won back-to-back Cy Youngs. Tarek Skubal's number 1. I put Skubal 1, I'd put Ketel 2, and I'd put Buxton 3 because there's always the injury concern.
Same. And Byron Buxton is the least good of those 3.
Now, you could still make something work with Buxton where you would not bring back Polanco, you bring in Buxton to DH, you play him a little bit in the field, but you try to maximize his bat and say, okay, you're just not going to play the outfield 5-6 times a week. We're going to keep you at your DH spot.
He did play quite a bit of outfield last year.
And did not stay on the field.
No. That is a fair point. I still feel like you'd have to pay center field price or center field adjacent price for Byron Buxton to not play center, especially since he's the Twins' star player. Meanwhile, like Tarek Skubal goes right to the front of your rotation, and Ketel Marte's in your lineup every day if you trade for him. So that makes it a little bit more worth it. But in the most valuable spots, you have everyone pretty much set.
Yeah.
So as it was wrote out Boomstick Gaming, that's how we do it. Skubal, Ketel Marte, Byron Buxton. Great thought exercise.
Very good.
Next one comes from a random username on YouTube. I'm not going to spell out all those letters, but thank you for the question. It is, what do you guys think about someone like Seiya Suzuki instead of Jorge Polanco? I think he's a great fit and would be an upgrade in the Mariners lineup.
I mean, what do you want me to say? Seiya Suzuki's a good player. I just feel like it may be more cost efficient to bring back Polanco, and I think the Mariners are probably more comfortable with Polanco than they are with Seiya Suzuki.
Seiya Suzuki's not a free agent, too.
Right. Yeah, what am I saying? You'd have to trade for him. Yeah,
you'd have to trade for him. So there's a few layers to this.
Yeah, so I would probably just bring back Polo.
The number for Seiya Suzuki this year would be $19 million. So Jorge Polanco wouldn't only be cheaper, but he's a free agent, so you wouldn't have to trade prospects for him. And he fits your roster a little bit better. If you sign Seiya Suzuki, he's DH only for the most part. That would clog up Cal getting days at DH. Seiya can technically play outfield. Cubs didn't let him play a whole lot of outfield, given that he DH'd over 100 games this year. They put Seiya Suzuki in center field for a game. Do you know that?
I did.
Yeah.
His defensive runs saved in the outfield this year was -5, which is not... It's not like having Nick Castellanos out there where it's just awful, but he's not a good defender. Yeah, and the fact you'd have to trade for him... And by the way, the Cubs are in a competitive window. It would be surprising if they did, especially if they don't bring Kyle Tucker back. I feel like that would be a little bit of a headache to make happen. And... you know what you've got in Polo, and he's a free agent. So I'd probably just keep him.
A lot of these guys we talk about have trade rumors, or there is trade rumors about them out there. There are none about Seiya. I went on Google, I looked. Couldn't find one. I looked on Twitter. I couldn't find a trade rumor for Seiya Suzuki. There were some 1 year ago that he might get moved, but they didn't move him. And I guess now they're going to keep him. If the Cubs end up stinking, they'll dump him at the deadline. But otherwise, they might just let him walk and give him a QO and get a draft pick back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how it's going to be. I like Seiya Suzuki. If it wasn't either or with Jorge Polanco, I might be much more into it. But unfortunately, probably not for that. I'd rather have Jorge Polanco. Brandon on Instagram asks, who's on your interview bucket list in the top 5?
Man, if you've been plugged in the last few episodes, I'll tell you one. A-Rod.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Alex Rodriguez. And by the way, update, we are trying. I can't say we're at the 10-yard line yet or anything, but we are making an effort to try to get A-Rod on this very podcast because I want it to happen. So he's on there. Junior's on there. I mean, I feel like Randy Johnson's on there, and I know these are cliche, but those are some of the historic guys.
Ichiro.
I mean, that one would be insane because he doesn't do interviews.
Exactly. And his English is good, and he'd be hilarious.
Yeah. If he opened up, yeah.
I'll tell you, someone I have on my top 5, because whenever he does interviews, it's always on FCC platforms, so he can't actually be himself. Jay Buhner.
I mean, are you going to be able to handle Jay Buhner's hour-long war on analytics when he comes on the podcast?
I think it'd be a great discussion.
He's going to call us two nerds who never played the game.
He might just call us fucking idiots.
Yeah, that too.
But it wouldn't be the first time.
Man, but this is leaving people off. So if that's our list, if our list is Junior, Ichiro, Randy, A-Rod, and Jay Buhner, I mean, you're leaving off Felix, you're leaving off... And you're leaving off people that aren't even Mariners specific people that we may just want to have on. So how about this? That's our list of historic Mariners that we'd like to have on. But let's do another one, putting those guys aside, that's a little less obvious that we'd want to put together. I'll tell you one, and hopefully we'll get the chance one day to have him on at some point. We have had a few conversations with him over the last year, but Jeff Passan.
Passan would be great. What are some other famous Mariner fans that we have not gotten on? Like, is Rainn Wilson a Mariner fan? He's a Seahawks fan.
He's from Seattle. I would classify people like him and like Joel McHale as Seattle people that we haven't gotten to have on yet, who at least have some tie. We have had one famous Joel on in Joel Damon.
Damon, yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. Very cool.
What are some other ones? Like Spencer Hawes.
Yeah, but see, it doesn't even have to just be Seattle people. Well, okay, here's one, which another one I think at some point in time we will make happen, but we almost just passed by him too easily. Cal.
I wrote Cal down. I had to include one.
Yeah.
Yeah, one current Mariner.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to get an OG Mariner on, dog. We need to get Big Poppy on.
No, that'd be crazy.
OG Mariner.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. If it goes well, do we get a My Dog shirt from Poppy?
I hope so.
I love that. Poppy on those World Series on those World Series post-game shows are unreal. It's not like he's there to provide hard-hitting analysis, but he is entertaining.
That's for sure. We threw a bunch of names out there. Take a top 5 of that, essentially. We could list names off forever, but we still have a lot of people on our list that we would really like to have on this podcast, and I think we can make happen here soon, I would say.
Yeah.
Last question, Lyle, comes from David on Instagram, and David's question is, true or false? The biggest offseason upgrade will be Julio's development if the result of next season is him putting up career first half and second half numbers. If you extrapolate his numbers, where would he finish in a typical MVP race? So 2 parts.
David, I got a really easy answer for you. Part 1 to your question, yes. Part 2 to your question, first, he wins it.
Well, first part, true or false?
Oh, true. By me saying yes, I mean true. There is no move the Mariners can make that is a bigger deal than Julio Rodriguez putting together a full 162 games of greatness. And the answer to the second part of the question, and where would he finish in the MVP race? 1, he does what he did in the second half for a full year, he's winning the MVP.
He's in the top 3 at least. Depends what Bobby Witt and Aaron Judge do.
I mean, Julio got close to 6 wins just from basically what he did in the second half. You're talking about 11, 12 wins if he does that all year.
It was a 900 OPS with the defense. Can he beat out Bobby Witt? Yeah, Bobby Witt and Judge. That's his competition when thinking about it. But top 3 for sure. I actually disagree with you for the first part. I still think signing Josh Naylor, the difference between having Josh Naylor and having the backup options for the Mariners at first base is a bigger gap than regular first half, like league average hitter Julio and second half Julio.
But I feel like the WAR doesn't match up there. It depends on how you measure this.
Well, I'm not just adding WAR. I'm adding. Can we use this year as an example? What the difference between first half or second half Julio, or the difference between Donovan Solano and Rowdy Tellez and Josh Naylor?
Well, you make some half decent points.
And mind you, Rowdy Tellez and the Mariners' first base position prior to Josh Naylor did put up positive WAR.
I don't know how, but okay.
Technically, they did.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So I would say false, and then I would say top 3. He could win it. It depends really what other players do. If no one else has a historic season like him, then he'll win. Bless you.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that's right.
Everyone just missed Lyle just absolutely sneezing. You should have just left your mic on so we could get the ambiance.
I muted it for the sake of the people. I'm trying to be for the people.
Oh, okay. But, okay, yeah, false and top 3 for me.
I don't think everybody wants to hear me sneeze.
Maybe they do.
Yeah. Well, I guess I can't know. By the way, if you made it this far into the podcast, I just figured I'd throw this in there for people. I know we have gotten a few comments, people asking us about, hey, can you guys get a little bit of an updated YouTube intro. We are working on it this offseason. We can't do it in a day, but we are working to get a new one because I know we've gotten a couple comments about it.
Message has been received.
Yeah, we're working on it. Otherwise, yeah, it's a good batch of questions again on the mailbag.
People have some good ideas in this offseason. Just wait until they start transacting.
I know. And just wait till we start digging even further into these potential profiles.
Man, we got a lot of decisions for Monday. Who should we talk about Monday?
I was going to say, I mean, we can make a definitive decision when we put the pod out on Monday, but I mean, Ketel's swirling around. That's not a free agent, but I feel like that's making some waves.
Country roads take me home.
Can Jerry admit he's wrong
to the plains?
I belong. Can Jerry admit he's wrong on 2 Diamondbacks in a row?
Yes.
Well, okay, you know what? Let me take that back. Obviously, they were dead wrong on Gino. I'm not going to kill them by any stretch for the Ketel trade because honestly, like it worked out extremely well for the Mariners. Has Ketel been the best player at his peak in that trade? Of course. But I'm pretty sure the Mariners still lead by WAR in that trade. And by getting 2 years of all-star production from Gene Segura, having Mitch Haniger, and then flipping Segura for J.P. Crawford, you did pretty well in that trade.
You know the best way to win that trade? Trade back for Ketel Marte.
Well, I'm down. Apparently, there's 6 or 7 teams that have already checked in on him.
We asked Adam this. Let me just ask you this. Do you think the clubhouse thing would be an issue?
This feels like a good Monday topic, doesn't it?
It does. Something to think about. Like us 2 Seattle Mariners podcasters can't definitively tell you in an off-season episode whether or not the clubhouse things are really impactful or just little stories with guys he didn't get along with. But it's something Adam mentioned. I mentioned Ketel Marte.
So I think we've got our answer here. Barring a Mariners move over the weekend, I think we are going to talk about Ketel on Monday.
Okay. Also, weren't we supposed to get some movement on the reliever market this weekend?
Yeah, well, Francis Romero tweeted here on Thursday morning that he thought some of the big-name relievers were going to have some action going on the market in a matter of hours, and we haven't had it.
Devin Williams to the Seattle Mariners?
I hope. I feel like he may just end up a Dodger.
End the episode.
Try harder if you want good players like the Dodgers do. Again, this is what we talked about at the end of the World Series. I want him to be a Mariner, but I can't kill the Dodgers if they sign him.
Maybe the Dodgers should just go out and sign the relievers the Mariners don't have a chance at. Like sign Edwin Diaz, sign Robert Suarez, give the Padres the middle finger, and then let Devin Williams come to Seattle.
That'd be great. But you also got to sell Devin Williams on Seattle. So
I have a great sales pitch. When can we get him on a call?
I don't know. You know his agent? You want to track down his agent in the winter meetings when we're there in a couple weeks?
This dude has like a 1.3 ERA in Milwaukee. I promise you, if he does the same thing in Seattle, his ERA is under 1. He's going to make a shit ton of money.
Again, you don't have to sales pitch me on Devin Williams. You have to sales pitch Devin Williams and his camp on signing with the Mariners. So there's your goal.
Yeah. I hope he likes coffee.
Yeah. But you're right. There should be some movement here. If Francis Romero is right, there should be some movement here in the next few days on relievers. But position players, it might take a little longer.
We'll just have to see. We'll talk to you guys on Monday.
Yeah. All right. With that, I think that wraps up this edition of the Marine Layer Podcast. You guys know the drill. If you want to listen to the full form podcast, you can do so wherever you get your audio pods. If you're listening, just do us a big favor. Make sure and download these episodes. Go rate and review 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. It really helps us out if you do. If you're watching on YouTube, similar idea, but a little bit of a different format. Go hit subscribe. It really, really helps the channel if you do. You can drop a comment on this video, leave a like on this video, and then go to our website because you can find everything over there. Not just our episodes, but all of our merch, Patreon. It's all over at marinelayerpod.com, and you can find us all across social media at marinelayerpod. That's TJ. I'm Lyle. As always, we thank you guys for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.